hearing MVP chants to Anthony Edwards in Denver, to hear Timberwolves in 4 at the Ball Arena or whatever it's called in Denver, the reigning champions, is unheard of. I did not have that in my NBA playoff bingo. And welcome back to the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. My name's Ismael San Juan. Thank you so much for being here. It is now Tuesday, and Denver is down 0-2 against the Timberwolves. What did we see yesterday? We might have actually seen the greatest defensive performance in the last 10 years. Like, it was really, maybe in the last 20 years, it was a sight to behold. The Wolves were hounding the Nuggets. We'll touch on that. Also, Hala Madrid. Real Madrid wins their 36th La Liga in their club history. They are La Liga champions. Shout out to all the Real Madrid players who are winning their first championship for the first time. Super happy. We'll touch on that and what it means for Madrid, Ancelotti, all of that good stuff. Darwin Ham is fired. Finally. It happened a couple days ago, but, you know, I didn't really want to talk about the Lakers till something happened, and at least Darwin Ham is fired. There's a lot of people coming out to defend him, a lot of people coming out to blame LeBron James. I just got to say, I'm super happy that he's gone. He was not it. We'll touch on that. Rublev wins the Madrid Open. Super excited for my guy Rublev. He wins his second Master 1000. Super pumped for the guy. Manchester City are super close to winning the Premier League. They have Fulham, Tottenham, and West Ham, and it kind of looks like it's done, to be honest. We'll touch on the Premier League race. To finish, we'll touch on the Clippers, who lost to the Mavs. I'm a huge Mavs supporter because of Luka Doncic. I love that guy. He's an amazing NBA player, but the Clippers lose. They're not going to have a chip going into their new arena. It was not a successful postseason. It was not a successful season. And the Clippers, since making the Western Conference Final, have not made it out of the first round. All of that on this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. Let's get started. The Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards are really 2-0 up on the defending champions, on the Denver Nuggets, while playing both those games away in Denver. It's actually insane to think about it. As a Laker fan, I'm happy that Denver's going through these struggles, but I'm also like, damn, we're far away. We're far away. If Denver beat us in a gentleman's sweep 4-1, and now the Timberwolves are punking them like that, you know, some people might say we tired them out, but, you know, that's probably not the case. We're probably pretty far away from winning a championship. But this is not a Lakers topic. Let's give the Wolves their credit. They played probably the best defense I've ever seen, like, since I really got into the NBA, which is, I mean, I remember a little bit of the Lakers 3P in the early 2000s, but I was like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old at that point, maybe 9. I was probably like 5 to like 8 years old. So, like, you know, they're not the most bright memories, or like they're not the most clear memories. Like, I remember more from like rewatching stuff than like actually experiencing it. So I can't say like, oh my God, I remember those defenses, even like the Pistons from back in the day. Like, I can't really say that I remember my own memories. It's more like I've gone back and look at it and like, okay, this is legit. Obviously in the 2010s there was better defense than there is right now. But just to keep it easy, simple, I'll say that this is the best defensive performance I have seen since like 2010. Like, let's just keep it simple. Since 2010, I would be hard-pressed, and anybody I feel like would be hard-pressed to show me a better defensive performance. Like, that was just amazing defense. And I was telling my roommate, like, defense looks so fun. Defense looks so fun when the whole team is playing hard defense. Whether it's basketball or soccer or, I mean, those are like the main sports that you could play defense, like at a recreational level and kind of mimic stuff. Like, it's so disheartening when you're the only one pressuring the basketball. You're the only one trying on defense, either soccer or basketball, on a pickup game. Like, it's so disheartening to be one or two guys that are really trying on defense and then everyone else is just like whatever's about it. It could be frustrating. But when everyone's clamping down, like everyone's closing out, everyone's doing beautiful rotations, everyone's switching properly, everyone's communicating. Oh my, everyone knows when to double team at the right time. Everyone just crashes the board and gets rebounds. Like, it is insane to watch. And that's what the Timberwolves did today. Like, Murray would get past one person, there'll be another one. Lanky guy just there in front of him, ready to cut passing lanes, ready to, show him that, it's not going to be easy. It was just relentless all 48 minutes. There was no break. And we saw that in game one, but Jokic did a little better. Murray didn't do good, but he was terrible this game. Oh man, it was just a sight to behold, to be honest. That defense made it fun to play defense. If they keep doing that this postseason, like, kids are going to be trying on defense next time they play a pickup game, because that was insane. Like, that was a sight to behold. I'm telling you, I'm still shocked at how good that defense was. It was just swarming. The commentator kept saying, it feels like there's 7 Timberwolves out there. And it really did. Like, they were everywhere. It was insane. And to do that without Rudy, I know Rudy has had his struggles in the playoffs and people clown on him and people say a lot of stuff about him for, kind of disappearing in the playoffs or being a liability in the playoffs. But he's still, the anchor of that defense. And he played good game 1 against Nuggets. But for him to not be there and the defense is still that good, insane. Insane. Props to the Timberwolves. And also, do you guys think Jamal Murray is going to be suspended for game 3? Or you guys think he should be suspended? Because, throwing a little heat pack into the court is pretty crazy. From the bench to just throw it, like whether he was aiming it at the ref or not, can you judge intent? Maybe not, but just the mere fact that he threw a heat pack into the court is crazy. And I'm just thinking, like, someone could have slipped on that. Something could have happened. It could have hit the ref. I'm thinking, like, nothing really happened to him in the game. I remember when Steph Curry threw his mouthpiece and it kind of landed close to a fan. They kicked him out. And was he suspended for a game? I don't remember if he was suspended, but, like, I would not be surprised if they suspend Jamal Murray. And if that does happen, then this series is cooked. It's done. Even if he doesn't get suspended, I think it's going to be really hard for the Nuggets to go to Minnesota, win 2 games, and then, I think the best they could hope for right now is a game 7, and it's looking tough for them. The Timberwolves are scary. Ant is a dog. Ant has all the killer instincts that you want in your young rising player. Hitting a 3, like his little celebrations, like the bravado, the charisma, the self-belief, sometimes like the just enough amount of arrogance that he has, is just great. I love everything about Ant-Man. And ESPN asked the question, for the next 10 years, how many people would he take over Ant? Probably just Luka. Luka's a dog. Luka's a monster. I love Luka. He's a dog. He's like a chubbier white version of LeBron that's not as athletic, but probably a better passer and a better feel for playing point guard. That's what Luka is, which is like an insane compliment, but I just love how Luka plays, and I love his demeanor too. So he's probably the only player I'll take over Ant. I'll take Ant over Wemby, just because Wemby isn't really playing that many minutes. To be a rookie and not be playing that many minutes is a little alarming, no matter how they spin it. And there's always going to be that injury like factor with him just being so tall, so lanky, so skinny, that I'd rather take a 6'5" electric point guard that is ascending and his potential is kind of limitless, especially if he starts really knocking down those threes like he has in the postseason and like towards the second half of the season. He's a dog. He's insane. He tries on defense too. His mentality is crazy. I'm telling you, the only person I would pick is Luka, and it's close. It's like super close. But man, is this series over? That's what everyone's asking after the Timberwolves go up 2-0 and winning both games in Denver. Not gonna lie, it certainly feels like it. And like hearing MVP chants to Anthony Edwards in Denver, to hear Timberwolves in 4, at the Ball Arena or whatever it's called in Denver, the reigning champions, is unheard of. I did not have that in my NBA playoff bingo. If someone would have told me that when the playoffs started, that we were going to hear a team go into Denver in the altitude, take over the stadium. There's a star player was going to get MVP chance in Denver, and that team was going to get a sweep chance. Oh, I would have never believed you, but that is what's going to happen. Maybe not the sweep, but I think the series is over. They're cooked. I think Minnesota splits at the worst in Minnesota. They go back to Denver and they probably close it out in Denver. Not gonna lie, like they were dogging the Nuggets, and Murray might be suspended. His calf is still not 100%. I think this series is done, and I think the Timberwolves, after eliminating the Nuggets, objectively become the favorite to win the NBA Finals, ahead of the Celtics, ahead of anybody in the West. Even though it will be a dogfight in the Western Conference Final, I think that's what's going to happen. Timberwolves are just dog walking the Nuggets right now. They probably get them done in 5, and then they take the top spot as the favorites to win the championship. It's gonna be good. I was kind of expecting the Nuggets to tie it up tonight or last night, but Timberwolves gave me the defensive performance, the best defensive performance in the last 14 years, and I'm not upset. It was shocking. It was insane to see that happen, but it did. And Wolves in 5 is what I believe. Wolves in 5. Madrid, Madrid, y nada más, y nada más. Hala Madrid. Madrid win La Liga is the 36th in the club's history. What an accomplishment for Real Madrid. What an accomplishment for Ancelotti and all the players. Like, to lose Courtois, to lose your starting star goalkeeper, to lose multiple center backs, to not be so sure who's going to play the 9, to not even know what formation you're going to play at the start of the season, because are you going to start traditional 9? Are you going to play extra wingers? Like, there was so much uncertainty going into this season, and for Ancelotti to just masterfully work the team. For the most part, most players are happy from what it seems. I know there's some young guys that wish they had more minutes, but their time will come, especially because it looks like it's going to be Modric's last season. It might be somebody else's last season. So there's going to be a little refresh at the end of the season. But for everything that happened to Real Madrid, for Real Madrid to really run away with this La Liga season is super impressive. Like, middle of the season, beginning of the season, Barcelona beat Real Madrid in a preseason game. Carvajal was like, I'm sure when the games matter, we'll be ready. And sure enough, Real Madrid handled Barcelona in La Liga and in other competitions. And, you know, people were saying, like, damn, is Girona going to bust? Is Girona going to mimic Leicester City from, what was it, 2015, 2016? Whatever season it was. Are they going to do the improbable, go against all odds and win La Liga? And that was a hot topic for like the first half of the season. Like, there was really people that were believing that Girona was going to be able to keep up with Madrid, and they had a real shot. And in the end, Real Madrid run away with La Liga with like 3 games left, and I think it's deserved. Ancelotti wins another title with Madrid. A lot of these players are now tied with Marcelo. I think Modric just tied Marcelo for the most titles ever as a Madrid player. There's some other players like Kroos that are getting up in that list too, probably like one behind. And we still have the Champions League second leg in the semifinals, where Real Madrid is going to be playing at the Santiago Bernabeu, and they are the favorites to win that draw and to win the overall tournament. So we might be holding more silverware soon, but I mean, overall, even if we don't win Champions League, which I don't even want to mention, it would still be a good season to come away with the España Supercopa and La Liga with all the injuries that we had. Like I'm saying, Courtois seems like he's back to, maybe close out the last month. Lunin has been more than serviceable. He's been low-key a star for us. He's had some really good performances. And like I said, Ancelotti, cool as ever with his little eyebrow raise. just the sickest demeanor on the sideline, to be honest. If Ancelotti's not worried, then I'm not worried for the most part. And like that calmness and security that he brings from that coaching position is super key for all the players. I think for the most part, he gets his rotations right. And I think he gave, if this is Modric's last season in Madrid, as it kind of is, as it's been reported, and it really feels like it is, I think he gave him like the respectable amount of minutes, and he started him in crucial games, and he also benched him for some crucial games. And he, for the most part, when he was benched, he would always come off the bench as a sub, and I think he just handled that very eloquently. And I appreciate Ancelotti for everything that he does: the roster management, the player management, the team management, how he carries himself as the coach of Madrid, how he never really loses his head. Like, Ancelotti is just a class manager, and I want to take this time to appreciate everything he's done for Madrid, and hopefully Madrid can close this improbable season. Some people might say improbable for Madrid. Like, come on, it's Madrid. But if you were there at the beginning of the season, there was a lot of uncertainty, and to win La Liga and be in Champions League semifinal is just amazing. It's amazing to be a Madridista, and it's amazing to win La Liga. So, hala Madrid. And man, did I just praise Ancelotti, but I really mean all of that. Like, Ancelotti is my dog, and I appreciate and respect him so much as a coach. But someone on the opposite end is Darwin Ham, and the Lakers finally fired Darwin Ham this past weekend. They got rid of him. They axed him. They cut cords, and I think it was the right thing. And not gonna lie, the media is a little, how can I say it, split on this, or they're coming to the aid of Darwin Ham. I don't know which one's more important to the media. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I'm not reading the media too well right now. I like like, it does seem like they want to defend Darwin Ham, and they're kind of saying like, yeah, he shouldn't have been fired. He's a scapegoat. You know, who else are they going to get? Like, that's the problem. Like, you don't even have a plan B, and you're getting rid of Darwin Ham. And if that's their true intention, to defend Darwin Ham, I could buy that. Like, me personally, I don't think he's a good coach. Couldn't call a timeout. We'll get into why I don't think he's a good coach. But I respect that point of view. Like, okay, like, he's the best of whoever's available, blah, blah, blah. Like, don't fire the coach. Let him, get to his third year or whatever. But to be honest, I feel like the media just wants to attack LeBron James, and they want to spin this as LeBron James is the coach killer, and they just want to use this to, bring LeBron down, criticize LeBron, do all this stuff. And, LeBron, I've come around as a LeBron fan, especially obviously since he joined the Lakers, but I've never been shy to point out his flaws and, criticize him for his flopping when he was doing it, all that good stuff. So I'm by no means like the biggest LeBron defender, but on this one, man, if calling Darwin Ham a bad coach is being a LeBron defender, I'm a LeBron defender. Because if calling for Darwin Ham's job, asking for him to get fired, is me defending LeBron, so be it. Because, man, Darwin Ham, everyone saw the memes. Everyone saw them. Like, and they were right. They were correct. They were funny because they were true. Like, everyone was saying, like, damn, the team goes on a 20-0 run. What is Darwin Ham doing? He's looking like Arthur with his hands in his pocket and not doing anything. And you as a fan, you're just ready to pull your hair out. And you're like, how are you not seeing this, my guy? How are you not seeing this? Everyone in the arena, everyone in all my group chats is like, bro, you need to call a timeout. Everyone, the commentators are saying it. They're like, I'm really surprised he's not calling a timeout. And that's just like the simple stuff. Like, in the NFL, I'm kind of thinking of McCarthy, like, super bad time management, like, doesn't know, down and distance and time remaining and how many timeouts I have and like how I should strategize that. That's Darwin Ham. He's just terrible with the time. He doesn't understand momentum. He's oh my God. Another one is his rotations are like, the timing of his rotations when he experiments is usually like in a very important game. Like at the end of the season when the Lakers needed to win out, and we got lucky because the Kings and the Warriors kind of choked their last few games, and we were able to sneak into the 8th seed. But he was doing bad rotations then. He was doing terrible rotations against the Nuggets. He's not a good coach. Like there's other clips where he's not really known for drawing up plays out of a timeout. And maybe the video that was circulating around the playoffs was an extreme, because like that one was embarrassing. Like you could just tell everyone lost his interest in what he was saying. Westbrook was just kind of in the back. That was a couple of seasons back. That's why I had Westbrook. Or like that was last season. That's why I had Westbrook there. But regardless, even if I wouldn't seen that clip, even if no one would have posted that during the playoffs, I could have told you that this man is not good at drawing plays after a timeout from a ball in. Like he's just not good at doing that. Like there's some teams that get free points off of those, and the Lakers never did. And you could blame the players, but you could also blame the coach. And then like the way he handled the media, he kind of threw D'Lo under the bus. As a coach, you can't do that. There's no way he could have stayed as a coach of the Lakers. There's no way. There was too much animosity. It looked like the locker room wasn't following him anymore. Like he lost the voice. He lost the locker room. Once you lose the locker room, if you're not an elite coach, it's very hard to get it back. And it was just time for a new voice. It's just time. And I'll tell you this, if the Lakers miss the playoffs next year, and people are going to want to come back to this year and be like, look, Darwin Ham took similar team to the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. Like he took the Lakers to the Western Conference Final. I think it'll be more on the players that come in or are let go this offseason. LeBron being another year older, he's going to be 40. AD's health, like is he going to be healthy like he was this year? Probably not. I think all of those will play more a factor if the Lakers potentially miss the playoffs next year than Darwin Ham leaving. Like I don't think anyone could take a victory lap. Any Darwin Ham defenders could take a victory lap next year if the Lakers miss the playoffs and be like, haha, you should have kept Darwin Ham. I think there'll be a multitude of other factors other than, damn, we should have kept Darwin Ham. Like there's going to be so many more things that I think of. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully Lakers make the playoffs next year, go on a deep playoff run. But if they don't, as a Laker fan, I feel like there's going to be a multitude of reasons, of bullet points that I say to myself or anybody that cares to listen before I go, oh, man, you know what would have really made the playoffs in 2025? If we just kept Darwin Ham. If we just kept Darwin Ham, we would have been in the playoffs. Like, I don't think I'm going to say that. So, overall, thank you, Darwin Ham, for 2 years. Thank you for not calling a timeout in Game 3 against the Nuggets to stop the run, or in Game 5 as well. Thank you. Thank you for all of that. Thank you for, kind of holding us back last year. And even though we did make the Western Conference Final, thank you for that. And if that makes me a LeBron defender, I guess I'm a LeBron defender. But overall, I'm happy that Darwin Ham is no longer employed by the Lakers. Let's talk about the Clippers losing again in the first round. Kawhi hurt. PG looks like he's gonna leave. Harden choking again. Like, what are the Clippers gonna do going forward? This is not good. They made the Western Conference Final with this group, similar cast. Congratulations. It was a great moment for them. But since then, they haven't made it out of the first round. Now they have a lot of money tied up to Kawhi Leonard, who keeps getting hurt, and he gets older year by year. So it doesn't seem, the trend isn't looking too positively for the Clippers. Like, is Kawhi eventually going to play out these next 3 years of his contract and just be healthy and play 70 plus games a season and be available for the postseason? Probably not. He's probably going to keep the same pattern, maybe even gets worse. So where do the Clippers go from here? It's a bad place to be. They don't own their own pick for the next 4 to 5 years. They either trade it away outright or they have pick swaps. They have Paul George, who's probably been the most reliable player they've had from their big two, because although he has missed game 2, he's been available more than Kawhi. You have James Harden, just a playoff choker at this point. There's no way to deny it. You have him on expiring too. Are you going to re-sign him? Are you going to give him the big bucks? You have turmoil in the locker room for the whole season. It was reported that Russell Westbrook was a leader, and he suggested that he should come off the bench to not disrupt the continuity of the starting five. And everybody was like, "Damn, he's such a good leader." Like damn, you see, it was the Lakers' fault that he didn't succeed. Because look at him, just being a stand-up guy, going above and beyond with the Clippers. The Clippers culture is so much better than the Lakers. Like he would never do that with the Lakers because that culture was toxic, and that Clippers culture is what empowers him to feel comfortable taking that bench role, coming off the bench, being the sixth man. And as soon as they get eliminated, Russell Westbrook wasn't actually comfortable. Like, he hated the idea. He despised Ty Lue for bringing him off the bench. He had resentment, like all this crazy stuff. Just completely flipped the narrative. So which one was it? I think it was the latter, to be honest. I think this recent reporting is the correct one. I think that locker room was probably toxic. He still wanted to get starting minutes, and he was a little salty. Probably held a little grudge throughout the whole season. And in the playoffs, Russell Westbrook at this point in his career, terrible, man. Terrible. He had a terrible postseason against the Mavs. He got a technical from pushing Luka and throwing him to the ground, grabbing him and stuff like that. Just a bad postseason for Russell Westbrook. So again, I ask, where do the Clippers go from here? Well, they're gonna go to Inglewood, to the brand new stadium, to brand new arena. It looks great. They're gonna have the wall, and like I said, people wanted to just congratulate the Clippers with their new arena. The wall is going to change fan experience forever. But me, this is Hard to Handle Sports. We keep it real. And I was saying, yeah, it's a cool concept. And, there's similar concepts like that in football and soccer around the globe, where it's all just supporter section and you got to wear the jersey. But those come organically. Like, we have hella fans. We have passionate fans. So we want to protect this area, put these rules so that no one could break him in and disrupt our great culture that we have in this part of the stadium, in this supporter section. And we'll put these rules so no one could come in there and be surprised if we want to kick them out or get them in trouble for not following the rules. Whereas I was looking at the Clippers kind of they're putting these rules to kind of incentivize their fans to become even more loyal. Just wear our merchandise, get our season tickets, get there early so you can get the closer seats for cheap. Don't sell them to other fans. Or if you're going to sell your tickets, you got to sell it to fans. It just seems like they're putting all these rules to, birth these diehard fans, or to motivate casual fans to go more into the diehard fans. And we'll see how it works. I was skeptical. A lot of people were super pumped about it. And I'll tell you this. If Paul George leaves, if you get, whatever season Harden's going to be on next year, and you keep Westbrook and the future doesn't look bleak, that wall might start looking a little bad next season. It might not start looking like the best idea that some people were trying to label it as. It might not revolutionize sports fandom like they thought it would. It might just be another, embarrassing media hit for the Clippers. But we'll see how it plays out. Maybe Paul George stays. Maybe Harden takes a team-friendly deal. Maybe they're able to add, some key role players. And maybe Kawhi stays healthy for all of next year. And this is all a moot point. They walk into their brand new arena and they have a great season. And the wall shocks the NBA. And it's the grandest arena in the NBA. And they cultivate great fans from that arena, from this team. Or maybe Paul George leaves. Harden takes a max contract because the Clippers owner knows that he has to fill seats and sell tickets. They keep Westbrook, and Kawhi continues to be hurt. and that arena kind of flops and the wall concept kind of flops and we get funny memes and funny videos on Twitter, on TikTok saying like, damn, look how this wall turned out for the Clippers. Just something to think about. Once again, the Clippers out in the first round. And as a Laker fan, I don't really care, to be honest. I care more about my team. It's just funny to talk about, but I hope the Lakers get their shit together and, they're competitive next year. And it'll be just interesting to keep an eye on the Clippers and see how they do. Now, on to the Premier League. City, it looks like they're going to get it done. Not going to lie, I don't see how they don't get it done. As a Wolves fan, I got to admit that I thought we could have given them a scare. That early penalty kind of ruined our hopes to do anything. We were chasing the score after that, and we were just opened up, and we were filleted, and it was bad. Not both Wolves teams could be doing good. The Timberwolves are doing great. We kind of finishing the season on a bad note, but Manchester City is not going to lose any of their next 3 games. They're going to clean house against Fulham. And for all those people that think Tottenham or West Ham are going to get a result out of Manchester City that's, has a cup final to still play, but they're out of Champions League. Their main focus is the Premier League, and they got Fulham, Tottenham, and West Ham left. We just saw Liverpool, after 3 weeks of mediocre football, score 4 on Tottenham. You don't think City, that's motivated, that's probably still mad that Real Madrid knocked them out of the Champions League, and their main goal is getting that 4th Premier League title in a row, it's not going to do similar things to Tottenham, then you're absolutely crazy. You don't think West Ham, who just got annihilated by one of the worst Chelseas we've seen in years, is going to be able to stop City from their 4th title? I don't even got to talk about Fulham. Fulham, who's, man, not a good team. You think they're going to get a point off City? I think if you're an Arsenal fan, it's going to be another season where you don't walk away with the Premier League, unfortunately. And I really do believe the Wolves were the last stand. The other teams, Tottenham, West Ham, they are above Wolves in the table, but Wolves have been known for being a team that could take a point and could even upset City in the past. And if they catch fire, that belief will be there, those memories. Even though the team is different, I get it, but the team has shown that they could steal a point off City. And they faltered. Like I said, the penalty cost us a lot, and then after that, it was a whole different game. And, when they're picking up pens left and right, it's kind of hard to beat them. But Tottenham did not look good. They look like they're ready to go on vacation. West Ham, same thing. They look like they belong in the championship. Good for them that they had a good season. They're getting rid of their coach, or Moyes didn't resign with them. Lopetegui is supposed to be taking over. So they might be ready to call it season. They might be ready to go to vacation. It's like, you're not even going to be our coach next year. It might be kicking in. Like, it was a good season. We're going to probably finish in the top half. Like, we're good. Overall, it was a cool season. It's fine. We're making progress. We're doing better than a lot of people thought maybe just a couple seasons ago. We were able to replace Declan Rice, sort of, kind of, and not really fall off into like relegation spots. It's a cool season. Let's go into next year, see what Lopetegui has to do, and forget about this season. And so it's looking rough for Arsenal. Not gonna lie, I think I've been saying this. I thought City was gonna win the 4th Premier League title in a row the whole season, and it looks like that's how it's gonna play out. Unfortunately, for Arsenal fans, Liverpool's out the race. Unfortunately for Arsenal fans, unfortunately for other fans of the Premier League who wanted to see a new champion, wanted to see City's dominance end. Bad news for you, it doesn't look like it's going to be this year. And to conclude, my boy Rublev wins the Madrid Open. The Madrid Open, which was a very weird tournament. Like, we had Nadal exiting, super sad moment, getting beat. We had Sinner dropping out. We had a bunch of walkovers. We had FAA make the final after being in a huge lump, getting super lucky, getting a bunch of walkovers. It was a weird tournament. In the end, the final was entertaining, I must say. The final was entertaining. I believe Alcaraz, Sinner, and Nadal all went out in like 24 hours from the tournament. So it was a rough going by the Madrid Open. But in the end, the final was good. FAA won the first set. Rublev came in set 2, won that, and then won set 3 to win the championship. Good final. Rublev showed composure after having some meltdowns earlier this year. Even just like a month ago, he had some meltdowns. It looks like my boy is finally learning how to keep it down a little bit, not explode, stay calm, and got it done. FAA, it's tough when you're getting double faults like that. It's tough, but I think he could use this as momentum for the rest of the season. I think he's now in the top 20 of the ATP, which is good for him because he had fallen to like 35, I believe. And he was once a top 10, like just like a year and a half ago. So for him to fall to 30, good for him to making it back to 20. He got lucky this season. I mean, he got lucky this tournament with 3 walkovers, but you can only play the person in front of you, so you can't really fault him for that. He got a good win, a great win actually, against Brood, who's one of the best clay players out there. So good for him. Competitive final. He looked pretty good. He had some good strokes in there, so his forehand looked a little better. His serve is still a little iffy, but overall, I think it was a good weekend for FAA. But super happy for Rublev. He's back up to number 6 in the world. There's a lot of uncertainty going into Roland Garros. How like Nadal, the main horse, obviously the main topic, is hurt. Doesn't look like he's gonna make it to even 70% Nadal by Roland Garros, so he doesn't look to be a major player for Roland Garros. We'll see. Djokovic hasn't really been playing. It hasn't been his season. He hasn't won any titles this season. Sinner is uncertain for Roland Garros. Alcaraz is also uncertain for Roland Garros after dropping out of Rome. So there's a lot of uncertainty. And with Rublev having found this new serenity, this new calmness to him, this new composure, it might be the year. It might be the time. The iron might be hot. It might be right for the pickings for Rublev to finally make a semifinal. And who's to say win a slam? Like, he could really do that. He could really do that. Like, if you got a somewhat wounded Djokovic in your way, let's say Alcaraz and Sinner can't play, then you're going up against Tsitsipas, Ruud, Zverev, Medvedev. Like, you could beat those players. You could catch fire. You could beat those players. So I'm pumped up. Like I said, Rublev will always have a special place in my heart. Signing my hat at the first ATP tournament that I went to in my hometown, San Diego Open 2021, I believe. Super pumped that he did that. Great stand-up guy. So he's always going to have a fan in me. And I'm super happy that he won the Real Madrid Masters 1000. Great for him. His second Masters 1000, coming back from a set down against FAA. Shout out to Rublev. Boy! But that should do it for this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. As always, if you made it to the end, I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Wolves in 5.
Stretching, and I'm taxing for the feet on my damn